Hello, welcome to Revelator Alf video live show, radio show, podcast thing, whatever you want to call it. Um, I've come in this morning because I've got a bit of exciting news from Honda motorcycles. Would you believe Honda motorcycles? And I thought I'd dedicate a show predominantly to them because I think this, for the first time in quite a few years, Honda are not only producing the bikes that they've always produced, and in previous shows I've also talked about their new bikes for 2023, some of the new models, but now they've got a couple of bikes that are going to challenge uh the norms of what you think Honda are about. But I think they're going to bring a challenge to the likes of Harley Davidson and Indian and BMW in certain respects in terms of that cruiser or tourer motorcycle. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the future. But today's show is all about Honda. So please come in, join the chat, let us know your thoughts, subscribe to the channel and all that kind of stuff. Leave your comments, ask your questions, and you can show your support with this super chat, super stickers, super thanks, and all that kind of stuff. All gratefully received, and you can show your support on the website as well, revelatorelf.com. I say, well, I'll remove that, and basically, let's just get into it, shall we? Let's just get up into what we're talking about today. And I've already mentioned them, but so it's Honda motorcycles. That's what I'm talking about today. And I've received quite a few press releases from them in the last few weeks. And I think of all the press releases from all the manufacturers, they're the ones who have been really pushing it out. Maybe that says a lot, when, they're the number one motorcycle manufacturer in the world, right? Now, I'm just going to skip through a couple of their generic bikes, which they've kind of released. But in the previous shows, I've talked about the Forza range. The Forza range, the scooter range. And they've got a 125 here for a brand new one for 2023. They've also got a 350 here. Which is the Forza 350 was kind of a sportier version here. It's the Sporty GT. So, depends where you are in the world. These bikes are incredibly popular. I know in places like Spain, in Italy, and France, these are incredibly popular, especially urban riding, that kind of thing. Incredibly mobile, incredibly, affordable, that kind of thing. So especially, when we're talking about the energy crisis and all that kind of stuff and rising costs. These are the kinds of bikes which I talk about on a regular basis. The other one here is this new Grom, this MSX125 Grom. And it's got Honda's pocket-sized Funster Ride for 2023 year model with a retro cool style, quick detached body panels, LCD dash. I mean, it just goes on and on what the press release is talking about here. Look, so they've got their generic bikes and their kind of revamped bikes, which they're talking about. Okay, so that's that. Let's put that aside. We know what Honda does. They do it very well. Whether you like Honda or not is a separate issue, right? Or whether you think they're exciting models, but whatever they do very, very well. Right. Let's just get on to the next model here. And this is it's kind of a retro scrambler, urban scrambler, and this is the CL500, the CL500. And I'll just quickly run you through a couple of their pictures here. Really nice, different color variations. And obviously you got the generic stuff where they're showing what the bike can do. It's let's ride it through a rail yard, let's ride it through some kind of urban decay, all that kind of stuff, right? It looks really nice. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually show you the press release now here of what this is and what Honda is saying about it. Okay. So I'm just going to put this on full screen here for you now. So the Honda CL500, this is new. This is new to Honda, okay? And also this is featured in a lot of the motorcycle press over the last sort of 24 hours, okay? The likes of motorcycle news, visor down, world press. I've been searching around quite a lot. It's the new CL500 strikes a retro-rich vein with inspiration from original CLs of the 60s and 70s. It's got a twin-cylinder Honda CB500 series. It applies a new tubular diamond structure steel frame, long travel suspension, 17-inch front rear wheel combination. Yeah, that's nice. That's kind of a scrambler-esque, isn't it? I mean, it's got all LED lighting, the dash is negative LCD display, 4 contemporary paint options, and it just goes on and on and on. So let's have a look here. We've got a 471 parallel twin cylinder engine. These parallel twin engines, I'm telling you, they're becoming more and more popular. 34.3 kilowatts of power, healthy 43.4 Newton meters of torque, and it just goes on and on and on. Now it's got let's just get into some of the specs, which are right at the bottom here. There we go. Oil capacity, 3.2 liters. Who cares about that? 12-liter fuel tank. Yeah, I suppose a bit on the smaller side, but these are smaller bikes. These are urban bikes, really, or shorter journeys. Let's put it that way. 27.7 kilometers per liter. I'll do the maths what that is in miles. Wet multi-plate slipper clutch, assisted slipper clutch, I say. 6-speed transmission, chain drive, wheelbase, C-Type 9790. Scrambler, it's going to be a little bit on the higher side. Curb weight 192 kilos. I mean, I wouldn't say it's heavy, but I wouldn't say it's light either, of course. Wheels, cast aluminium, 19-inch front, 17-inch rear, standard stuff. Brakes, it's got a single disc, 310mm at the front, 2-piston caliper. At the rear, it's got a 240 disc with a 1-piston caliper. And LED headlights, LED tail lights. It's got an optional 12-volt socket. It just goes on and on and on, right? Okay, so it's a nice looking bike, and I think Honda have brought this bike out, and all the different color options, and they're saying, look, everybody's doing this scrambler version, everybody's doing this, the kind of retro urban bikes, mid-sized bikes that people just want to have a bit of fun on, get on, put your tweeds on, and away you go. And this is the bike that Honda have produced, and I dare say that it's probably going to be the best of the lot. So why do I say that? Because it's Honda, isn't it? They always make things work. And I've got to say, looking at this as a profile picture, it looked pretty darn good. It looked pretty okay. This is the same format that you're going to see in the CMX500, in the Rebel and everything like that. It's all the same kind of bike, isn't it? Just reworked a little bit, different styled. But I kind of like these scramblers anyway. It's got good lines. It's going to be great for a new rider, let's say, because you can ride it on A2 license over here. I mean, it looks a business. I kind of like it. I don't like this color, this kind of bluish color, I've got to say, but the green, I mean, if you want a bit of urban military look, I suppose, and if you want to stand out from the crowd, a bit of orange, I suppose my preference would be this one. I think they do a black version as well. But it looks good. It looks great. So that's the CL500. That's new for 2023. It's all over the press right now. Hold on a second. I don't know why that's come off. Fucker. Hopefully you can still hear me. Hopefully you can still hear me. Just 1 second. Apologies for this. Okay, hopefully you can still hear me. If you can still hear me, give me a nod. Let's try that. Hopefully that works. Hopefully you're still with me. Anybody in the comments, let me know. Sorry, I had a camera problem there. It just shut off randomly, just shut off there. So I had to quickly reboot it. But anyway, look, We are here. I'm still live. Apologies for any swearing. That's naturally what happens when you have a sudden camera failure. But say, hopefully you can still hear me. Hopefully we're still talking Honda bikes. But look, they've they've come out with this new bike, CL500. It's all over the press. Let's see if what happens now. Okay, the next bike we're going to be talking about here is this bike. Well, it's the 750 Transalp. This is kind of talked about quite a bit in recent weeks, I think. But here we go. It's the Transalp 750 XL 750, and look, it's I was a big fan of the Transalp anyway from back in the day. They've kind of relaunched this, and it's I mean, it looks good. It's got good lines. I'm gonna say, if you like this kind of bike, midweight bike, if you like it, Honda are doing it all okay. And I think, this is the one that's, again, it's going to appeal to a lot of people with nostalgia, that kind of thing. And they're going to be looking at this and thinking, yeah, I like the look of it. I mean, if I take you over to the screen now, to the press release, let's just get rid of that. There we go. I mean, here we are. We've got it all there. And so this is for 2023. Around town or around the world, Honda's brand new XL 750 Transalp carries the adventure forward from the iconic original. Okay, so yeah, it's like a rebranding of the original. 75 newton meters of torque, throttled by wire, 4 default riding modes. It just goes on and on. 3 levels of engine braking and power, steel frame wears, full show of suspension, 43 millimeter upside down front forks, rear shock working through a Pro Link. Look, it's got it, by the looks of it, it's got the beans. It's got the looks for to be capable off-road, but to be, a nice riding position, upright, all that kind of stuff. So, it goes through the whole history here. Let me just get into the specs a little bit. You can add bags on it. You can have a tour pack on it, adventure. There's a comfort pack, a rally pack, adventure pack, touring pack, urban pack, and it just goes on and on with the accessories. But it's basically 755cc. It's a four-stroke overhead cam, 8-valve parallel twin. Again, parallel twins, 270 crank. It's 75 newton meters, 67.5 kilowatts at 9,500. Do that in your kind of horsepower conversions. 16.9 liter tank. Yeah, that's reasonable. Fuel consumption is 23 kilometers per liter. I wish they sent me these press releases in miles per gallon and all that sort of stuff. Multiple assist zipper clutch, 6-speed transmission, chain drive. It just goes on and on. We've got a seat height, a bit high. I mean, as you would expect for a little adventure bike, 850 millimeters, that kind of thing. 21-inch front, 18-inch rear. Now we're definitely into the kind of off-road capable, certainly off-road capable wheels, let's say. Brakes, it's got a dual 310 disc at the front, 2-piston calipers. Rear is a single 256 disc, single piston caliper, TFT screen, LED headlights, tail lights. You got Honda smartphone voice control connectivity, USB-C, 12-volt socket optional. It just goes on and on and on, right? So look, I've got to say, I look at this Transalp and I think, look, if you're in the market, if you want a bit of nostalgia, and I think if you've got something that's sort of capable and you want an off-road capable adventure style bike, that is crucially that is good on the road, good off the road, good commuter, a jack of all trades, as it were, a jack of all trades. I think this is the bike for you. This is the bike. If you like this style, that's it. If you like this style, if you like Honda as a brand, if you like Honda as a motorcycle manufacturer, if you like what they do in terms of their reliability, in terms of their application, in terms of whatever they do, and you're looking for, let's say, an adventure bike, you're looking for a city bike, whatever, a scooter, the Forzas. If you're looking for some urban scrambler, whatever, the CL500. If you're looking for the Transalp, sort of a mid-range adventure bike. Yeah, this XL750, this Transalp. Yeah, I can see it. I can see you wouldn't go far wrong with it. Okay. I sound as if I'm a mouthpiece for Honda motorcycles. I'm not. I'm not at all. But I think what they've done here is that they've just shown us a snapshot of their bikes of 2023, and they're looking at each individual segment, each individual market, motorcycle market, and they're saying, right, we've got a bike that satisfies that need. We've got a bike that satisfies that need. The urban bikes, yeah, different size engines, but there we go. Scooters, the retro stuff, yeah, we've got one of those. The adventure stuff, yeah, we've got one of those. So they, every time Honda, just, I wouldn't say they reinvent themselves, and whether they copy what others have done, but they just come in, they test the water a little bit, and then they come in and they just hit the ground running with very decent bikes. So this Transalp, I think, is going to be a decent seller for them. But the show, for me, the show of the party, as it were, the leader of the pack is this. I'm just going to put this up there. And I think this is the real challenger to Harley Davidson and Indian, but also BMW, not only in terms of the cruiser market, but also in terms of the Tourer. So BMW got your R18s and all the versions of that, of course. Harley Davidson, you've got all their bikes, whatever bike you want to call. But let's say you got the Sportster, the Nightster, using the Revolution Max engine, right? All the other bikes using the M8 engine. You got the Indian, the Scout, the Chief, whatever, and every other bike they've got. What is a good challenger for them? And let's look at globally, what is a good challenger for them? And it will be this one. Okay, this is the new CMX 1100 Rebel, right? And they've talked about this for a long time. Is that developing this, putting a fairing on the top, making it a bit of a Tourer, putting some bags on the back, and making it look out. And this is the first time that this is kind of really that they're really coming out and really promoting it. This is for 2023. Okay. And look at the pictures. It's got some good lines. It kind of reminds me from this angle from the Moto Guzzi, MG21, MGX21 or whatever it was called, with that fairing, similar kind of style, similar kind of lines there from this angle. But obviously it is its own entity. The CMX 1100, it comes in all its different guises, of course. And if you remember a few weeks ago, I showed a press release, a news article where they took a Harley Davidson Nightster, a Indian Scout, was it? I can't remember what it was actually. Nightster Scout possibly, and it was the Honda Rebel here, the CMX 1100. Without the fairing, it was just a standard one. And whilst all bikes have pluses and negatives, if the bike that you want from the article, which is the bike I always thought, yes, logically, that's the one that you want in terms of rideability, comfort, durability, the way it works, everything like that, was the Honda. That's the bike that you want. That's, and not only is the bike that you want in terms of rideability, but also you got the Honda machine behind it, as it were, but also just came in on price in the United States. I think it's about $10,000, it's sub $10,000. So here, look, this, I would imagine in this guise, with the fairing, with the bags, yeah, you're going to go over 10,000 a little bit, 12, 13,000 or whatever it is. But let's get over to the press release here and let's just talk about it. So CMX 1100 T, okay, so this is a T for touring, a new touring version loaded with aerodynamic half fairing and hard cases, headlines the Honda CMX 1100 Rebel range. So obviously you still got the range of bikes, but this is the Tourer version now, offering to relax and excite in equal measure. The standard edition also gains a new color for 2023. 1084 parallel twin cylinder again, evocative exhaust, selectable torque control with integrated wheelie control, cruise control, 3 default riding modes, throttle by wire, Supporting electronics, high quality running gear, includes a 43mm cartridge style front forks, piggyback rear shock absorbers, 4-piston radial mounted front brake caliper, all LED lighting with negative LCD instrument display, 6-speed dual clutch transmission, DCT option is available. So you can have the automatic version as well if you want. And it just goes on and on and on, right? Let's just have a look. Let's just look at some of the features, the specs rather, I should say. Okay, so you can also have the street pack, the tour pack, and just goes with different things here. It's 98 Newton meters of torque, 64 kilowatts at 7,000, whatever that is in horsepower. I mean, who really cares? I mean, it's just, it's a decent looking bike. Fuel capacity, yeah, I mean, it's a bit on the small side, 13.6. That's why you're looking at it as a comparison to the Nightster, the Sportster of old as well. Electric starter, yeah, 12-volt battery, wet multi-plate clutch, 6-speed transmission, manual transmission, or 6-speed dual clutch transmission, or basically the automatic. It's a chain drive. C-Type to 700, yeah, so it's a cruiser, isn't it? Cruiser Tourer. It's a little bit smaller there, and it's it's just got tires front. It's got an 18-inch front, 16-inch rear. Yeah, standard stuff for your Tourers or your cruisers. 2-channel ABS all over, LED lighting, and it just goes on and on and on. Right. So I think this bike for Honda is. It's not a game changer. Don't get me wrong, it's not a game changer. But what I think it shows is that they look at the market. They look at what people are wanting as an alternative to your mainstay bikes, right? So they're saying, okay, well, who else in there has got a big chunk of the riding market? This is the retro style, and they've also got the cruiser or the tourer style. That's two chunks of the motorcycle market that Honda haven't traditionally been very good in. And now they have. They got this CL500, and they've also got this CMX1100 T Rebel, which is the tour pack. If you like, it's just a 1100 Rebel with a tour pack. Essentially, that's what it is. And do you know what? I've got to say, it looks pretty good. I've never been convinced with this whole thing here with the lines. If I put a side picture here, where the tank perches up on top there and it's seated. I think the riding position is really nice on these. So of those who ride it, say it's a really nice riding position. It's just the look is slightly off-putting. I saw one close up the other day in a multi-brand dealership, and actually, it didn't look close up in the flesh. It didn't look too bad at all. I think, I'd like to go and ride one of these myself and just see, hey, what's it like? What is this all about? And I think if you're looking for this kind of bike, I think without the fairing, without the bags, I think it looks a very bland bike. I've got to say that, and I'll say that with full honesty, as it were. But with the fairing, with the bags, I think this looks, LED lighting, okay, yeah, you might change these mirrors up here, that kind of thing. But I think it's got a bit of styling cues from other manufacturers, other touring bikes from yesteryear. From this edge here, it's got a bit of retro Harley on the bags. It's got a bit of Moto Guzzi fairing on the front. I love a black bike. I love black exhaust. It's all blacked up. It's mean and moody. As far as I can say. What else do we want? A bike that comes in on price, a bike that comes in on reliability, a bike that comes in on performance. Okay, performance in inverted commas, okay, because these are going to be cruiser bikes, but of rideability and of reliability and of whatever. If you were to ask me honestly to say, right, if If there was, for some reason, I'm losing my camera all the time here, so I do apologize. And let's just see if we can pull this back up. There we go. There we go. Right. Okay. For some reason, I'm losing the camera. And we'll just get rid of that. I don't think I'll be using this camera anymore, guys. There we go. Sorry. Apologies for that. That's the second time during this live show that's happened. That won't happen again because I won't be using that camera again. But look, I say, if I say I'm not the greatest fan of Honda in terms of excitement, but I'm a great fan of Honda in terms of a bike that works, reliability, and everything. If you want to get somewhere, you ride a Honda, right? Doesn't mean it's going to be the best bike. It's going to be the most thrilling bike, but it does what it says on the tin. You've got something that works. And I've got a feeling here with the XL750, the Transalp, with this CL500, not in that color. This color, I think, is probably the best. With obviously, the smaller bikes, which they always do well in, and all their small bikes. We know Honda, they produce all the small bikes, and those are the ones that are going to do really well. Okay, but I think here with this Rebel 1100 CMX1100 T, the Tourer, I think they're going to take a big chunk out of the market. Not necessarily. Okay, let me make this perfectly clear. Not necessarily in the United States market, okay, in the American market, although I think they'll have a bit of success there. Not necessarily in the Canadian market, although I think they might have a bit of success there. I'm talking globally, especially when you're talking about, the prices of motorcycles, and you're talking about people are watching their wallets and all that kind of stuff. And I keep on saying this time and time again, where people are saying, I want that kind of motorcycle. I want that kind of ride. I want something with touring capability. I want hard backs. I want a fairing. I want to have a tourer bike or a cruiser bike, right? But I just can't afford the 25, 30,000 pounds, what it is for a Harley Davidson, whatever. They could see this to say, one, this is a good option at a much cheaper price, or it could just be a stepping stone bike. Whatever it is, Honda are going to be laughing all the way to the bank here, because you say, well, all these people who want that kind of bike, who can't afford whatever, they're going to go for this. They're going to go for this. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts in the comment below. Pain and Ride, so hey, 6:30 a.m. here in Connecticut. Good morning to you, sir. A Honda motorcycles to me are boring and plain goofy. Well, many people agree with you. That's not wrong. You're not wrong. Many people agree with you, but many people disagree with you. Honda has a huge legion of fans all over the world. And let's not forget, they are the biggest manufacturer in the world by far. And there's a reason for that. And they may not make bikes that are amazing in terms of excitement, but they do make motorcycles that will just work. And here I think they've got a good challenger for lots of other people who just can't afford it, just can't afford the big stuff. Anyway, listen, that's it. These are the new motorcycles for Honda 2023. Very short live show today. Apologies for the camera problems. If you've had any audio problems, apologies for that. And hopefully I can sort it out for the next time and investigate what's going on with these cameras and everything. But this is Honda Motorcycles. This is all the press releases that I've had in the last couple of days. It's all over the motorcycle press right now. Especially with that CL500, that XL750, little bit muted on the CMX1100 T, I would say. However, this is the bike for me. This is the one that is the most exciting one, and this is the one I think could be a big challenger out there. Thanks for joining. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you again on another video coming very soon. But today has all been, well, it's all been about and make sure you come back for the next show. In the news, I'm going to be talking. It's all going to be Suzuki, and it's all going to be Royal Enfield, and it's all going to be Yamaha. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. Let us know your comments, and I'll catch you again soon. Ta-da.